So this internet protocol is associated with TCP, hence it always comes combined, like it is always called as a TCP/IP, and it is one of the important protocol in TCP/IP suite, that is our TCP/IP model. It will take care of delivery from host to host. So whatever maybe the packets are there, so this internet protocol will take care the delivery from host to host. Then it uses the packet switching datagram type of approach. That means it is using the connectionless services. So every packet travels through the internet independently. That's why it is called as a connectionless services. And since it is traveling with the independently, hence it is unreliable. So it needs to be paired with the higher level protocols like TCP. So IP gets paired with TCP, hence the protocol is also known as TCP/IP protocol. So internet protocol and TCP protocol are paired together so that a process to process delivery will be ensured. IP layer protocol, the header consists maximum the length of 20 to 60 bytes. And how it consists and what is the header length, let us see. But before that, try to understand how actually a packet travels through a network or through internet. So destination A, source A wants to send to the destination D, and both are in different LANs. Okay, so A is in different LAN, D is in different LAN, and these LANs are connected through the WAN. Now you can see that A is sending the information to D, that is host to host path is developed. But through the network data link and physical, how it is sending? First A will send the data to switch 1 or router 1, we will call it as a router 1. Then through WAN there might be any other devices that are related with the networking. Then it will search its own path and it will go to the S3, and S3 will identify it, and then the packet will be delivered. So you can see that in network layer we have already seen this in layer to layer communication in OSI model. So this is how the packet is traveling, and it will reach to S. S will take care, and packets are please mute yourself. And the packets are again checked over here, encapsulated and decapsulated at this end, and again it is sent to the network, and at switch 3 again it is decapsulated and encapsulated, and it is sent to D. And this is how the packet is traveling from A to D in an internet. So IPv4 is the network. You can see that it is the delivery mechanism used in TCP/IP, and this protocol is utilized. So you can see this yellow portion over here is the IPv4, and it is a very important protocol in TCP/IP. And IP means internet protocol, V means version, and 4 means version number 4. So this is how it is called as a IPv4, and there is one more IPv6 is also there, that is version number 6. So this is IPv4 and IPv6 are there. So the header of this IPv4 is 20 to 60 bytes long. So let us consider the minimum 20 bytes will be considering, and 60 bytes, that is the optional one, that these are the optional ones. These are the 40 bytes are added depending on the services and what kind of services provided by IP. So that options will be added to these 20 bytes. So this is again 32-bit long, that means 4 byte long. So in that the first 4 bits are reserved for the version. It is reserved for the version. Then the next 4 bits are for HLEN type of, this is nothing but a header length. Then the next 8 bits are for the services So the services offered by the IP, there are four different services that are offered by the IP that we will see soon. Then the total length of this packet, this is the maximum 64k byte information you will be sending. So header plus this data, so that will form a information about how long your packet size is. So the total length of header plus data is mentioned over here. So the identification number will give you the identification of the packet. Then flag are important, and many times you need to fragment the data. If the data is too big, then you need to fragment it, and this fragmentation offset is utilized for 13 bits. So 3 bits are used for the flags for fragmentation, and 13 bits are used for the offset. Then time to live. So the time duration is decided when you are sending the packet in a network, internet. Then that packet travels through the different nodes and different routers. Then if it doesn't reach to the destination, what has to be carried out, or what count it should take, that is decided by this time to live decision. Then there are different protocols associated with transport layer as well as IP network layer. So from which layer and which type of protocol it is encapsulated, this is decided by these 8 bits. And there is a header checksum. Even though it is an unreliable type of system, but this header checksum is utilized for, because this is the burden on the upper layer which ensures the reliable type of transmission. That is, the transport layer is ensuring the reliable type of transmission. So this header checksum will be used for that purpose. Then there is a source IP address and destination IP address. So the host who is sending the data, its IP address is mentioned over here, and the host who is receiving the data, its IP address is mentioned over here. And as I said initially, the options bits are depending on the kind of services you are using. These option bits are added to the 20 byte header of the IPv4. Okay. Now let us see in detail how exactly this information carries out. So this is the bit 4 that defines the version of IP. So this is the version 4 will be utilizing, so that defines the version of IP. Then HELN, that is the next, it is a 4-bit field. So that defines the header length of IP, which is a variable. Okay. So you know that IPv4 header length is changing from 20 byte to 60 byte. So these 4 bits will decide what kind of header length is. Then the type of services, what kind of type of services you will be using. So these services are decided by these 4 bits, or these 4 flags. You may say it as a flags. So DTRC, D means maximum delay. So these are the services. Sorry, you need to minimize the delay. You need to minimize the cost of the transmission. You need to maximize the reliability, and you need to maximize the throughput. So for that purpose, these flags are decided, and these 4 bits will decide what kind of service the IPv4 is providing to the internet. So let us consider that if it is all 0, then it is a normal and it is default one. So it will be considered as a default, and it provides the normal services. When it is 0001, it will try to minimize the cost of transmission of packet. If it is 0010, it will try to maximize the reliability of the packet. Then if it is 0100, it will try to maximize the throughput of the transmission, and if it is 1000, then it will try to minimize the delay in the services. So this is how you can set these 8 bits, and these precedences are never used, and this last bit is also never used. There is another differentiated services are there, but in this case will not be using this. So we'll be using only these 4 bits for defining the different services. Then the total length 16, that defines the total length of the IP datagram, that is header plus data, what will be the maximum size that you will be sending with a packet. Then the next 16 bits identification, it identifies the datagram originated from the source host, because at receiving end you need to reassemble it, so this identification is very important. Then flags, 3 flags are there. Next is the 3 bits that is used for the fragmentation. So the first bit is not utilized, the MSB is not utilized. Then D and M. So if D flag is set, it means that it is you please do not fragment it. So whatever may be the data is there, you send it as it is. But most of the time the data size is very big, so you need to fragment it. You need to put it into pieces. So that fragmentation is done if it is 0, D is 0, you are doing the fragmentation. And this M bit will tell that whether it is a last fragment or not, and if it is a 0, that means it is a last fragment. If it is 1, then in that case it is not the last fragment, and if it is a 0, it is a last fragment. That means if the data is there, let us consider that 100 byte information is there, and if I divide it into 10 byte, 10 byte, 10 byte, 10 byte, so for first 9 bytes, for first 9 fragmentation, this M will be 1 in this case, and for the last fragmentation, that is the 91 to 100 fragmentation, when the 100th fragmentation comes, it will be 0. So it will tell that okay, this is the last fragmentation, henceforth there is no more fragmentation. So this is how you will come to know that. And the fragmentation offset will decide the relative position of the fragment in the whole datagram. What is the position of that fragment, that will be decided by this fragmentation offset. So it is the offset of the datagram in original, it is always measured in terms of 8 byte. The reason is that here only 13 bit information is received. So maximum you can have a 8191 type of bytes. So and that is a multiple of 8 bytes. That's why it is always preferable, and it is used to be as a standard for measuring this datagram offset. Always it is used in 8 byte. Datagram is measured in terms of units of 8 byte only. Now you can see the example of this 8 byte. So here you can see that before that we'll go through this one. Now let us consider that I want to send 4000 bytes over the internet. I want to send 4000 bytes over the internet. Then in that case I need to fragment it, and it is divided by 8. When you divide it by 8, then it comes to be, I will send it in terms of 3 fragments. So first fragment will be from 0000 to 1399. 0000 to 1399. So my offset will be 0002 divided by 8, because we are measuring in terms of 8. So it is 0. So 0 divided by anything is 0. Then the next offset or the next starts with 1400. Then it will move to 1400 plus 1399. So that comes out to be 2799. So 1400 divided by 8. So my offset comes out to be 175. Then next starts with 2800, and it goes up to 3900, because 3900 is the last one. So 2800 divided by 8, my offset comes out to be 350. this is how I am deciding this offset, and that offset will be mentioned over here. So when the offset is between 0 to 175, I'll come to know that okay, this fragment or this datagram is from this fragment. This is how you can find it out. Now you can see the detailed fragmentation over here. This is what the identification number you are sending. Now the frames you are sending is 4020. So this 4020 you will be sending. Now 4020 you will be dividing it into 1420, 1420 and 1220. Now again you can see that this is the division happening. So how much data you are having? 3900. Okay. Sorry. This is the header length. This is the datagram information. So what we are deciding, the data we are having 00 to 3999. So first we have already decided 00 to 1399. Now you can see that here dm, this is 1 indicates that here it is m equal to 1. So it indicates that this is not a last fragment. This is not a last fragment, and it starts with a number 000. Okay, this is the offset number we have decided, we calculated over here. So it is the number 000. Okay, next fragmentation occurs at, again it occurs at this one 175, but 175 is again, it is not a last fragment. So again m is set to 1. Next, when it comes to the end of this one 3900, so 3900 comes over here. So you can see that 3900 comes over here. So 350 is the offset you have mentioned, and now here you have mentioned it is 0. So m equal to 0 indicates that it is a last offset, or it is a last fragment. Henceforth there is no fragmentation, and this is how the fragmentation occurs in IP. So again you can fragment the section, fragment number 2, fragment number 2.1 and 2.2. that is quite possible. Again you can divide it, and you can see what is the total length of this one. So total length is changing because fragmentation you are going towards small packets. So the total length of the fragmentation will be changing. So here it is, the total length is like this. Now you fragmented it into three parts, so the total length is changed. Here total length is again same. Here total length is changed because you can see here it is, the data is from 2800 to 2199. That means only 1199 packets are there. Here in this case 1399 packets are there. So obviously you can see the length is changing. Here length is 1400, here length is 1400, because the data length is same, whereas the IP here format of 20 byte is same. That's why this 140 and 1420 that comes to be equal, and here the size is 1199 along with this 20 bytes. So that's why here you can see the header length is 1220. Now here again this fragmentation is done. So this is not an end, this is also not an end, because it is again fragmented. Now you can see that this is 820 only, and this is 620, right? Now you can calculate how many data bytes are there. So accordingly the length of the header is changing. So this is how the fragmentation is carried out in case of IPv4. So IPv4, the next bit or the next field in that IPv4 is time to live. So we know that whenever you are transmitting the packet or through the internet, so each packet is independently traveling. So when it is independently traveling, it will move from one node to another node, to another node, and from one hop to other hop to next hop. So it is taking hop to hop, hop to hop, hop to hop. What do you mean by hop to hop? Let us see with this one. So it is moving from A to S1. S1 to, there might be n number of switches over there. So let us consider that there are 10 switches. So there are 10 switches in this LAN, and this is, so the total number of switches it has to hop. So total number of hops will be 12. Okay, from here to here one hop, here to 10, and here to here, that is 12 hops are there. So the total number of hops are, let us consider the 12. So these 12 hops that packet is doing, but many times it may not reach to the particular destination. So whenever it is not reaching one hop, it takes, the time to live, that count gets decreased. So the count in that time to live is generally twice of the number of hops. So if the hops are 12, then the 24 count is their time to live. So if the 24 counts gets to 0, then whatever may be the router is there, and that router or that switch knows that one. Basically router will be considering that router will understand the information from this IP, that its time to live count is 0. It will discard that packet, it will discard that datagram. So this is a timestamp of the datagram where we can calculate the time to live. Now next field is protocol. So this field protocol decides that, we know that the TCP IP comes along with the various protocols associated with the transport and network layer protocol. So this IPv4 works with TCP also, IPv4 works with the UDP also. It is providing the services to ICMP, IGMP, and OSPF also. So with which protocol it is associated when the host is sending the data, so with which protocol it is associated, that need to be understood, and that information need to be transmitted to the destination so that the reliable communication should happen. So this care will be taken by this protocol and information, and this information set. So if the value is 1, that means the protocol or IP is associated with ICMP. The value is 2, it is associated with IGMP. If the value is 6, then it is associated with TCP. It is 17 UDP and 89 OSPF. So this is how the information is sent from the transmission end, and at receiving end the value is read by this one, and it will be known, and from that it will be transferred to that particular protocol so that the transmission will be successful one. Then the next field in the IPv4 is header checksum. So header checksum is the field of 16 bits, and it is it ensures that the entire header will be error free reception of the packet, because many times it may happens that because of error what happens, if the error occurs in a header itself, then the fragmentation will number will get changed, or any D or M flag may get changed. So this is going to change the entire scenario of your transmission. Okay, or the total length of the header will get changed, or the services will get changed, right? anything may happen. So that need to be taken care, so that there should be a proper delivery of your packet, and that error should be taken care by the upper layer. For that purpose, whatever may be the header bits are there, that header bits are added together, and its one's complement is taken, and that is used as a checksum for the header checksum. Okay, now the next field is IP address, which is the 32-bit information of the source, and destination address, again it is a 32-bit field which defines the destination address. Now the options are, if there is no option, then it is a fixed type of 20 bytes are there. If the variable options are used 40 bytes, then if you are using it for network testing, if you are using it for debugging, then in that case this 40 byte information will be added to the IPv4. Okay, this is how the IPv4 field is there. Now most of the time the student whenever they are using it with TCP, they get confused between the formats. So you need to practice the formats, you need to understand the formats, what is IPv4 and what is the TCP IP. You need to understand where the source address and where the destination address. In case of TCP or UDP, the source and destination address of the ports are 16-bit, where in this case the port address, source address and destination address are of 32-bit. So these are the changes you need to keep in mind, so that you can remember it and you can recall it whenever it is required. Okay, so there are certain problems with the header IPv4 header. The first one is that the maximum header length is of 60 octets, that is 60 bytes. The maximum packet length is, that is the maximum size is, because you will be considering the header length of the data length of 16 bit only. So the maximum packet length including header plus data is only 64K. So if you want to go beyond that, then you need to fragment it. So maximum fragment is of 16 bits only. So after every 64K packets, you need to fragment once again. Okay, so variable size header is there. So if the variable size header is there, then there will be a slow processing at the routers, and no ordering options is there. So all the routers need to look for the all the options. Then other limitations: lack of quality of service support. So total quality of service, you can that is called the TOS, is of 8-bit, which is hardly used, and problem of multimedia services are there with IPv4. Even though now we are using the IPv4, but the future will be IPv6, so slowly we will be shifting to the IPv6. No support for the security at IPv layer, that is what the problem with this IP. So security is the major problem, and mobility support is also limited for IPv4. But still this IP is very what you call it as a widely used in the network, or you can say that IPv4 is still used in today's internet services. So if you have any query related to this, you can ask me, you can post me, I'll give you the answer related to this. We'll stop here only.